Master Anjali, thank you very much for accepting to be in my video. It's such a great honor to be with you today. And we would like to hear about your experiences and everything that you had about yoga. So please tell us how long have you been doing yoga and teaching yoga, and you can explain about your experiences.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me over. It's a wonderful experience. It took us a while to kind of get together.
Yes.
But it's nice that it's time and we are here.
Yes.
Well, yoga to me, as it starts with everybody, it was a very physical thing. I wanted to make myself look different than what I was.
Yes.
But my journey on the mat really got me to acceptance. I realized that it's not about touching the toes, it's not about pretzel poses, it's really about accepting where I am, and that was my first ever experience. I really thank my friend Kathy. She's half German, half Swiss, so very dynamic, and I started with Shivananda yoga, and that incorporated the pranayama, the asanas, and a long shavasana. And I always used to wait to the end. Like, oh, when is she going to tell us to lie down?
That's what we all wait
We
for.
all, no matter what. I mean, that's really the truth. You want to lie down on the mat at the end.
Yes.
And then I realized how my mind was changing my body. Not how my body was changing, but how my mind was changing my body, and the bridge between that was really that awakening.
That's true.
I was becoming more aware of my thoughts, and my thoughts was leading to a lot of things in my life. Things meant meeting people. Like suddenly, because I was doing yoga, I was ending up meeting more people who were doing yoga. And by came the holistic side. So I've been doing this for almost over a decade now. I would say roughly 12 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. But wasn't really a yogic lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think bit by bit, your body begins to cleanse. And that cleanse has to be very organic. You don't suddenly make a decision, okay, I'm not gonna drink anymore, or I'm not going to wear revealing clothes anymore, or I'm not going to go out at night anymore. It's really organic. There's I call it like a mental taste. Even our mind has senses.
Yes.
We feel it's just the body that's got senses, and as we know in yoga, we've got more bodies than the physical body.
Yes.
So I think when in your pran sharira, your sukshma shariras, all the subtle bodies, when you begin to cleanse there, the effect begins to come into the physical, because this is the grossest.
Yes.
We can only do enough with the body.
Yes.
In the end, it's all ash and dusted with.
Yes. True.
So really having a cleanse from that perspective, and then having it lead you into a physical body was a big change. And that's where yoga became more spiritual
Yes.
rather than physical. And really, in a nutshell, I'm so happy to my first ever teacher friend, Kathy, which led me to yoga on the mat. And then as time went by, I opened my studio about 5.5 years back. And even at that time, oh my God, I've got to share this. My first ever yoga class that I had to teach. I had the mat lined up, and I had a couple of students, out of which I had 2 teachers.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, am I supposed to teach teachers? And one of them was doing Ashtanga Vinyasa. And my forte is chakra yoga. So I had a little note under my mat. So whenever I would forget what I'm going to teach next pose, I'll tell them to close your eyes, and then I'll flip the...
Oh, that's so funny.
That's very funny, and now I laugh and I can talk about it because
Yes.
I've healed through that traumatic stage of teaching, as if somebody was going to judge me, but that is really what happens.
Yeah, that's-
We live in a world where there's so much judgment.
Yes.
It's like you can never know enough or be good enough that you will surpass that state and stage of judgment.
Yeah, that's right.
So just lifting that mat again and again and looking, oh shoot, but I missed this. Oh, but I did this.
Right.
But that one class happened, I went home and I was like, whom was I doing the class for? And then the ego met me in my face.
Right.
The the yoga ego, the spiritual ego met me in the face. And I was like, no, this class wasn't for them. Like, none of that. It was because I wasn't even looking at them. I was looking here and then flipping the mat.
Yes.
And I was like, no, this can't be happening. So came the next class. And I was like, even if I do 4 poses in a 60-minute class, that's all I'm doing.
Yes, right.
That's all I'm doing. So I started taking a very yin approach towards my classes till I got the momentum, and then I started having a lot of fun. And then I started actually connecting with, my clients who was coming on the mat, so that their life on the mat with me for that 1 hour really brings them that energy of their life off the mat.
Right.
So that they could make a connection between the energy on the mat, energy off the mat.
Right.
And really that was very liberating for me, like as a teacher. Yeah.
Yes, when you talked about your teaching experience, I actually felt somehow similar because I was so nervous on the first day that I wanted to teach, and I experienced exactly the same thing. I had 2 teachers in front of me. It was so funny, and I was nervous, and but I had to go through that.
Oh, right.
Yes, right. And may I know if has yoga have any improvements in your relationships with other people?
Absolutely. My family, I keep telling them that you guys must thank me because I have married the mat. Apart from marrying my husband, I've married the mat. And that has sustained my almost 19-year marriage.
Wow.
That's a lot. And as we were just very briefly talking before we got on the roll, is me becoming a mother. That has been fabulous. I saw the worst of me, and that led me to see the best of me.
Right.
Not that I saw both. There is polarity, there's day, there's night, there's everything.
Yes.
But to be able to really go deep into the worst of you and then emerge from that sense of darkness and seeing the light, and then you feel like you are that. That is something I really owe a lot to my children, that they became my sandpaper. It wasn't always fun and nice and pleasant because they come first. But I wanted us to come first rather than they first or me first, because then there's a fight.
Yes.
I was like, no, we come first. What is it that we do together? And that's where the first ever yoga training I did was kids yoga teacher training.
Oh, I see.
Living in a city, it's where do you go? You go to the parks, you go to the malls. What else do you do? So I think that was 2012 or 2013 when I took up kids yoga teacher training to be able to connect and relate to my children and their friends. So I would host these yoga classes at home with their friends during summer. And that was such a beautiful moment because the fun in me came back, the joy in me came back, and really knowing that yoga can be fun. Yoga doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I can't go any further.
Yes,
I said, let's just make it fun. And making themes like jungle theme, then a water theme, so on and so forth, and getting emotions in the middle. That was really fantastic. And absolutely, the relationships have beautified. Another is whenever I felt confused, challenged, whenever I felt I was comparing myself, competing, all the C's of your life,
Right.
Whenever I felt challenged with all of these, I would go to the mat. Even if I just sat and I cried on the mat.
Oh, right.
I just was there. I said, because as physical beings, we need something to hold on to. So rather than holding on to a person, rather than holding on to my phone or food, I said, let me hold on to the mat. How would that be? And then really having the mat as I said, I married the mat. So whenever anything happened, I was like, shoot, there you go.
Yes.
So just rolling out the mat and sitting on the mat, lighting a candle, putting an incense, using the oils, putting some music, that just melted every challenge, and I would step into clarity.
Yes.
even if it was very brief, but I knew what my next best step would be because I had the mat. And to me, that's yoga. Yoga has gone way beyond asanas, even pranayama for that matter. Even, us talking here, that's yoga. When you can be very transparent, when you feel a sense of oneness, when you feel your purpose is no different from the purpose of the other person, and you feel we are here for something bigger, higher, greater value, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's very beautiful, and I'm so impressed to hear that. So I would like to know, do you have any advice for people who are watching, like if they should start yoga and how should they start it?
The first thing about yoga is breathe. Learn to breathe. No matter what you're doing, breathe. It's like going back to kindergarten, learning the A and the B and the C.
Yes.
So the ABC of learning yoga is breathing.
That's very beautiful to say.
That's all I want to say. Be aware of your breath. If that's all you can do, that's yoga.
Yes, true.
And then you can get into your Lululemons and one day go hit the gym and go to a yoga class.
Yes, right.
Because why I say breathe is mindful breathing, because many people have these wonderful excuses that I don't have the time, I can't find the right teacher, I don't have the space, I feel judged if I walk into a class
right,
because my body's really tight, I'm not flexible. Like, chuck that. Breathe.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot from people, that
A lot.
they are shy and scared.
And I must admit that also for a lot of teachers, they want to focus on the ones who are already flexible than having the ones who are not so flexible.
Right.
Because it takes a lot to, work with
true.
them, really one-on-one, and making them breathe in, and as you breathe out, you empty the abdomen, and then you find your way, and then you can actually leverage another millimeter, and really go deeper, lower. That'll take you like 5 minutes to actually let somebody have a forward bend.
Yes, that's true.
And who's got the time to do that? Especially in a group class. So that's
Yes.
another thing. I love teaching one-on-one.
Yes.
That helps me tailor make my classes, and then we can actually go beyond. Because the first thing I ask everybody on the mat is, how are you feeling in your body?
Yes.
Because I don't want to run through a class where they are saying like, oh my God, this is boring. Oh my God, when is this class going to finish? Oh my God.
Yes,
I'm like, no, this is
true.
for you. I'm here to serve you through the yogic practice. If all you want to do is lie down, I'll take you through a yoga nidra. And I play the gong, which is sound healing. So I said, that's all we'll do. We'll smell a couple of oils, we'll go through maybe just the crown chakra, we'll do a little bit of breathing, that's all we are going to do. Because the objective is, when you leave the mat, you must feel light. If you're feeling exhausted, you have done something that your body-mind is not resonating with. Then the ego you has done the yoga.
Yes.
And that's not the idea. So really, back to your question, breathe.
Yes, breathe. Okay. Well, actually, one time when I went to your meditation class, where we were a
Right.
group of people, the first time that I met you, I really enjoyed it. It was peaceful, and we didn't do anything difficult. It was very simple, but I really enjoyed it. So it's not like you have to do something special to feel special. Yeah, and I really felt fresh that day. It was amazing. So I also thank you for that group. It was so peaceful, and it reminded me to love myself more and get back to myself. Yeah, so thank you very much for everything that you shared today, and I really appreciate your time, and thank you for coming. It's such a great honor for me. And hopefully I can have interview with you again in the future and know more about your experiences. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.
بسیار سپاسگزارم که در این ویدیوی ارزشمند همراه هم بودید و استاد آنجلی یکی از بهترین معلمای یوگا هستند، پر از عشق و انرژی و مهربونی، و با اینکه سرشون خیلی شلوغ بود اما خوشحالم که این فرصت رو داشتم تا با ایشون وقت عالی رو بگذرونم و باز هم از ایشون قدردانی میکنم. مطمئن هستم که کلمات تأمل برانگیزشون برای همه ما بسیار الهام بخش خواهد بود و امید به روزی که شاهد باشیم یوگا اولویت اصلی زندگی تمام افراد قرار داره. لطفاً در این مسیر ارزشمند و الهی با من همراه باشید و این ویدیوی شگفت‌انگیز و تاثیرگذار رو به اشتراک بذارید. با بهترین آرزوها در شروع سال جدید تا ویدیوی بعدی، خدا نگهدار.